So Cat 5, Cat this, Cat that. Cat, just like everything else, is short for category. All right, so we got Cat 1 all the way up to Cat 7. You guys are probably using either a Cat 5 or a Cat 5e or Cat 6. Most of you guys are probably using a Cat 5e. Now, the category depends on what it can actually do and what it's used for. For example, Cat 1, standard telephone line. Cat 3 is designed for 10 base T networks. I want you guys to focus on the features for a minute. Cat 3, 5, and 5e. It says 10, 100, and 1,000. So 10 base T networks, 100 base T network, 1,000 base T networks. Whenever you see that, the number just means how fast it can go. All right, so 10 base T, 10 megabits per second. 100 base T, 100 megabits per second. 1,000 base T, 1,000 megabytes per second, or theoretically 1 gigabyte per second. When we look in the middle, it says speed and distance. For example, Cat 6, 1,000 megabits up to 100 meters, or 10 gigabits per second up to 55 meters. So what actually happens after 100 meters, or what happens after 55 meters? Let's say we got a run, instead of being 100 meters, it's 150 meters. What happens after 100 meters? What's the purpose of that? Why is that even important? Perfect. So after 100 meters, you're going to start receiving or experiencing degradation. So instead of going 1,000 megabits per second, it may go 950, 900, depending on how long you actually run the line. So after the recommended length, you start actually experiencing degradation. If it's in a wired network, it's called degradation. If we're in a wireless network, it's called attenuation. So we got Cat 1 all the way up to Cat 7, and you can see that the speed varies a lot. For example, Cat 7 is 10 gigabits per second up to 100 meters. So you can have 10 gigabits per second up to 100 meters. And just remember, the numbers just represent how fast it goes. 1,000 base T is 1,000 megabytes. 10G base T, 10 gigabytes per second. All right, so those are super. After Cat 6 is pretty fast. Even Cat 6 is super fast. 10 gigabits per second is really fast. So we got the category on the left, speed, distance in the middle, all the way to the right, what it's actually built for. So category 1, if you're using category 1 for Ethernet, or excuse me, for internet, you would just be using regular dial-up, and you would be having a terrible time. You're trying to watch YouTube videos on dial-up internet. But category, Cat, is short for category, and these are the different speeds and distances for them.